1 in 14 children has had at least one parent behind bars, and new today we're learning the time away is bad for kids' health. Low self-esteem, struggles in school, mental health issues. These are the problems that plague children with incarcerated parents. National researchers at Child Trends found 1 in 14 children has had at least one parent behind bars. For African American kids, it's 1 in 9. Poor children are 3 times as likely to have a parent in prison, and kids who live in a rural area are at higher risk than those in cities.
About 30% of the kids that we serve have an incarcerated parent, and it's very traumatic for them. Having a mentor in this child's life really can make a tremendous difference. It's an outlet for these kids to talk and listen. It's a place that they can go where there's no judgment.
Kids who grow up with parents in prison typically get hit with a double whammy, experiencing other trauma like divorce, domestic violence, and substance abuse. And the problem's growing exponentially. 10 years ago, 60,000 American kids had a parent in prison. Today, that number's 2.7 million.
And the issues that they are facing, it's heartbreaking. The shame and the loss and the fact that they're already down and now they've lost this income stream, and it just continues to spiral down for those kids.
The hope is the findings will push for reform in prisons and schools, slowing a disturbing trend.
The most challenging part of my mom being incarcerated is she's not there for big events.
Hearing her cry and saying sorry that she was in there hurt the most because I couldn't hug her or tell her everything was okay.
One day you're like playing catch with your dad, and then the next day he's not there, and then his absence just becomes a part of life.
But it's hard. Nobody really knows what you go through until you're in the shoes of that person.
Did you know that more than half of those behind bars are parents to minors? In other words, more than 5 million children in the US have had a parent who cared for them go to jail or prison, and these kids can carry significant scars with them into adulthood.
Children serve time too, so when their parents are incarcerated, the parents aren't the only one who are feeling that effect. It is a ripple effect. Their families, their kids are feeling that, and not only in the time that they're incarcerated, but for a generation. There's a lot of stigma and shame around incarceration, so that may lead parents not willing to open up and say, my husband was incarcerated, my boyfriend was incarcerated, my father was incarcerated, to really seek the support they need.
The study found young adults whose fathers had been incarcerated while they were minors were more likely to use hard drugs and watch more than 50 hours of TV a week than young adults whose parents hadn't been incarcerated. Those whose mothers had been incarcerated were more likely to have sex in exchange for money, skip doctor visits, and use the emergency department as their usual source of health care.
Previous research found that young adults with a history of parental incarceration have higher rates of depression, PTSD, asthma, and HIV.
When I found out that he went away, it was really disappointing to me. And I cried for 8 hours. I asked, when did he go to prison? What did he do? My friends are asking me, where's your dad, where's your dad? And I'm like, he's at work. I can't really tell them. They're always bragging I'm having a daddy and daughter day with my dad, or I'm going somewhere fancy with my dad, and they're always like saying stuff that I don't have. I don't like it when all my other friends have a dad there and
They have actually been my saving grace.
Children of Promise. They helped me with a lot of stuff and not to get scared or anything.
The purpose of Children of Promise NYC is to provide a safe space to children of incarcerated parents to come together, share their similar experiences, and receive services first that are fun. But what makes us really innovative and really unique is that we infuse mental health in all aspects of our program. While it might be art, it's therapeutic art. It's art that allows our young people to feel. It's music therapy, it's drama, it's spoken word. These are activities that are definitely fun for our young people, but allow them to deal with so many of the challenges they may have in having a parent in prison. The design of Children of Promise NYC in bringing young people together to work with a mentor, a clinician, counselors, to receive that support openly and to express what you're feeling is really what makes the difference and allows us to break the cycle of intergenerational incarceration.